to One Breath Rising's premier event for a season that we're trying out today, and it's called Brooklyn Many Voices, One Breath. And I'd like to, let's give another round of applause to the Dre Rodriguez Trio. And I'm so glad that you were able to come out and enjoy this live performance with us today. First, I want to acknowledge Jay's trio. Of course, the fabulous Mr. Jay Rodriguez. Yayoi Ikawa on piano and keyboard, and Xavier Hill on drums. We have a wonderful afternoon of jazz and poetry for you today. I call it jazz poetry. And we have three poets, myself as one part of the three. And we have Cheryl Boyce-Taylor, who is a poet, author, and educator. Yes. Cheryl's verse memoir, Mama Phife Represents, about her son, hip-hop icon Phife Dawg Malik Taylor, is a tribute to her late son, Malik Phife Dawg Taylor, of A Tribe Called Quest. We also have the fabulous Robert Anthony Gibbons, who has been published in over 30 literary magazines and in several notable anthologies. His books include Close to the Tree, Flight, You Almost Home Boy, and Some Little Words with Brooklyn-based artist Amy Williams. He is on the board of One Breath Rising. And I'm E.J. Antonio. I'm also on the board of One Breath Rising. And I want to invite Cheryl Boyce-Taylor to come up and start us off with our poetry. Yeah.
She's by herself.
Hello, everyone. What lovely faces today. I don't want this really too close. If you can help me with this. Too close? Just to push it back a little. See, it's too. Thank you. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yes, I guess. This is a real pleasure to be here live and in person. Yes. We're still getting used to that. I was getting ready to leave the house and I said, wait, I don't have any books. It's such a new phenomenon all over again. So I do have books and I will be putting them in the back, and just come and see me or flip through a book. Okay, so this is poetry, National Poetry Month, and I have a small writing group online called Elma's Heart Circle, and it's named after my mother Elma, who introduced me to poetry. So I just want to read one little one that I wrote, I guess, 2 days ago. It's called Surrender Cento. It's a cento. And a cento is when you take lines from different artists, but I generally make my own centos from my own lines. Okay, Surrender Cento. There's envy in the stars tonight. They are competing with the light in your eyes. April and the day burns, our fight holding tight. Childhood hurts can wreck the body. Your mouth, a small boat, floats my ears. With childhood regrets, we talked all night. Finally, I knew I had found my friend. I must never forget our first year. How finally we rose to surrender, our fears loosening. her body folding into mine. Okay, I'm going to turn this off so it doesn't start going off. And I'm going to share with you from two books tonight. This one came out in 2017. It's called Arrival, and it's about my family stories. And Arrival and We Are Not Wearing Helmets, which is my newest collection, both came out from Northwestern University Press. So I will read two poems from Arrival. And this poem is called The Sea at Marabella. And Marabella is a town in the south of Trinidad where my aunt lived and where my mother sent my brother and I mostly every summer to spend a few weeks there. The sea at Marabella. I want the pound of ocean by the sea in Marabella. I want my woolly fat braids tied to flying ribbons, flapping like birds' wings. I want my stick-thin legs running after Cousin Vilma's bike, begging for a ride. Mouth filled with salt air and nutty sand. I want the loose butts of old women falling out of their too small swimsuits. We laugh, their eyes halfway hidden under the rims of big Panama hats. Their French Creole spicing up the dead jellyfish air. I want to churn the wooden ice cream freezer while the boys pack it with salt and ice. I want my Trinidad, her chest a finely sculpted bamboo bowl, her shoulders the bright jawbone of God. I want to feel the sting of hot sand, the pound of ocean from my Marabella sea. We spent many days there throwing rocks at jellyfish. Not very nice, but we were young. I also want to read a poem to honor my son. I've been thinking about him so much. He's passed on 7 years now. And I went to see him at B.B. King's one night. He was performing solo. And so this is called B.B. King's Revival for Malik Isaac. I watched him build a wall, watched him build a revival tent. My son, with his own breath, a bobblehead nodder, his eyes did amaze me, the color espresso with a glob of cream. His arms did amaze me, flex, point, flex, a black maestro, the exact Perlman he's middle named for. That curled Trini mouth, wild, almost menacing. Make some noise, make some noise, make some noise, we're in New York. His voice did amaze me, but it was the ones who screamed. I watched them become cartoonish and off-kilter, voice thin and whiny, hollow as Bajan coins. I watched my son imbue them with his hip-hop moonshine. They drunk holy rollers who had just received the Spirit. His flock, hip-hop pilgrims, rising up to touch him. He, my boy, revival preacher. Thank you. It remains such an exciting experience when I would see him perform. And now just a few poems from We Are Not Wearing Helmets. And the first piece is about childhood in Trinidad, and it's called Crossing Rivers. There was always somebody dancing in the rain, burning patchouli, lifting a veil, throwing their legs open, wailing, birthing, picking names, rocks out of pigeon peas. Somebody always going to the store, looking for freebies, buying more beer, cigarettes, coffee, flying fish, sifting rice, yelling, cursing, calling us nigger and bastard and blackie, asking for blue bills, blue $100 bills, blowing white rum, spitting Florida water in corners, leaving bread and red candles behind doors for Shango, dancing in the rain, wailing, birthing, wailing, dancing in the rain, spitting Florida water in corners, leaving bread and white candles behind doors for Shango, blowing white rum, asking for blue bills, cussing, yelling, sifting rice, flying fish, buying flying fish, coffee, cigarettes, buying more beer, looking for freebies, going to the store, somebody always picking names, rocks out of pigeon peas, wailing, throwing open their legs, lifting a veil, burning patchouli, somebody dancing in the rain, always. You know, that is mixed in with some of the rituals that old people believed in. Yes. If you were losing your husband, you burn this candle behind the corner. If your wife was cheating, you drink this rum and you add this to her tea. So, you know, there's lots of tales. Cry for Surya. Surya is the son of my friend Ilana Bell and her husband Jai Chakrabarti, both writers. And I used to keep him when he was weeks old. Cry for Surya. I cannot tell you when the earth shifted or when the center of its shell broke, poisoning our water. I cannot tell you when the fruit spoiled, leaving bitter dust in our mouths. I cannot tell you how our foremothers survived or why we are still here. Once my grandmother told me, Cheryl, when the baby hiccups, put a black thread on his forehead. I tried that. It didn't work. The baby cried and cried. I held him close to my body until his sound echoed volcanoes, water, trees, rocks, an aching mast of ships. His cries breaking off small bits of skin and bone as they journeyed through the middle passage. His cries, the sound of hamatan, of salt, of sea. Thank you. Okay, just two more. This piece is called McKinley Drive, and it's a poem that I wrote for my mother. She always read poems to my brother and I at bedtime, and then later on she read poems to my son at bedtime. So we've had a lot of poetry coming down the line. She never wrote her own, but she memorized the long English poems, and she recited them all through the house. On McKinley Drive, a birthday poem from my mom. There is a small house at the edge of McKinley Drive where the road turns dirt and the river runs clear. There is an off-white porch that leaks in rainy season. There where the floorboards dip and the doors creak. There where my navel string berry and my twin brother heart grow fruit. there where you braided my hair and added satin bows. In that house, that beautiful house that held my mother's songs, her poems, and the names she called her children, Russell and Cheryl. It was Cheryl Allison when I did something bad, and it was Gilly when I did things right. In that small house, we dressed for church and knelt around our small bed, praying for the sick and shut in, for loved ones and God's mercy to see us through the day. And every morning her lovely voice would fill the house as she fixed breakfast, folded clothes, or swept floors. The door of her arms flung open to squeeze, to comfort, to hold that good love, my star called Mommy. Thank you. And I will end with a cento from Winnie Mandela. This book also has a tribute to a lot of female poets and other writers whose footsteps I'm walking in. Sister, teach me how to paint my lips silent. In the face of these atrocities, your body an empty plate, living in the shade of your husband's slow left hand, your once bright eyes, coffee-colored stone, and the loud crashing of glass in that bed of joy and affliction, the brown spill of bodies. Teach me how to paint my lips silent in the face of these atrocities, a slow procession of military predators standing guard. Teach me, sister, to pray your name, to pray your name, to embalm my eyes with your ghost. Thank you.
Let's have another round of applause. And now I'm going to bring to the stage Mr. Robert Gibbons. Let's hear it for Robert.
Glad I didn't have to follow you.
Don't even try. How's everybody doing? I want to just lift this up just a little bit.
He's gonna let us know.
Yeah.
Robert Benny Gibbons.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just so happy to be here. Thank you to One Breath Rising, which I am dedicated to, the service and the community, to them, to each one of the board members. Thank you for being in this beautiful gallery. Soapbox, give it up for Soapbox. This is a great space, right? And also thank you to the wonderful readers that I'm sharing the stage with tonight, and also the wonderful musicians. Thank you, Jay.
Thank you.
I'm going to do a little experimental piece. It's always a risk when a writer comes on stage and improvises with the band and they didn't have a chance to practice, so we're going to try a few things. And then I'm going to come back with EJ at the end, and we're going to smack you. But I'm going to try this one piece here. This is a tribute to celebrated writer Zora Neale Hurston. This is called The Folk Tales of Zora Neale Hurston, from her stories.
Oh, man, it's good.
See you later, alligator. Don't be afraid. See you later, alligator. Don't be afraid. See you later, alligator. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. See you later, alligator. Don't be afraid. See you later, alligator. Don't be afraid. See you later, alligator. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. The purpose of this piece comes out of finding the alligator in Prospect Park. See you later, alligator. Don't afraid. I would walk through that park every morning, and then when I heard that alligator was there, don't be afraid. A connection between Brooklyn and Florida, my home state, is the alligator. See you later, oh alligator. I'm not man-made, I am non-indigenous to Brooklyn. A potential danger if you let go of our nativism. The waters where the authorities found me is deemed unhealthy. And I am only indigenous to the lower stratosphere. It's like Florida or Louisiana. The cold shock makes me feel lethargic or just cold. Don't be shocked by my existence, but believe the cruel hand of a predator that placed me here. Unlike the human aluminum place I come from, I am not the predator. See you later, alligator. Don't be up. See you later, oh alligator. I did not arrive here on my own, but the thievery, the conquistador of our past, the quest of the animal hunter, the lapidotary, the taxonomy in the museum cabinet. I'm not a relic, not an artifact or something to be treasured. On ground, I can run 20 to 35 miles per hour. I was born free from Western constraints. I can outrun the bottlenose dolphin. I am uncommon. See you later, oh alligator. Don't be afraid. Don't. But not far into most of you that hear my voice, I exist reptilian. Conquered, pillaged, filtered my skin for purse and belt and coat and cloak, all themselves that are self-involved and fiendish. And any way from it downright selfish, just remember the territory to me is family. And like you, I will protect my family. I live among your swamps, your words, your ghettos. I live in your housing projects. Imagine me finding me in the dark pitch midnight. And there are no comparisons to be made since I was taken and placed here. Not a trace of human trafficker. I see the grimace on your face. See you later, oh alligator. And don't be afraid. See you later, alligator. Don't be afraid. Thank you.
since Robert started us off being experimental, I'll keep it going. This is a piece in progress. It is called Origin. I am nothing wasted. Swip, shoop, shoop, swip, shoop, shoop, swip, shoop, shoop, swip, shoop, shoop, swip, 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 shoop, 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 swip, swip, shoop, 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 shoop. Carried on wind's tide, across centuries, across millennia, across seconds. I am a common creation, sustained by corkwood trees. I am nothing wasted. I, a moon moth, spin lunar silver into temporary shelter. I emerge emerald, leaf fragile, withering, 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 to fool my enemies. I leave behind my home, roost in the canopy, as foragers come to claim what I have abandoned. Their forces of past and present weave through the pattern of my wing. I, circles of yellow, the wealth of sun and earth. I, circles of red, anger and heartache. I watch human hands collect my abandoned silver threads, woven to transform silence into rain's rush. Their hands sow in gravel, sand, small hard seeds, those broken seashells, chips of ostrich, eggshell, hands stitched together, each pod fastened to the strap, tied to their ankles. Watch us dance to a time before abduction, before iron bondage on unfamiliar soil. And the rhythms writhing from the Zulu hive celebrate warriors' chants, maiden dances. Rattled but not broken, rattled but not broken, rattled but not broken, not broken, not broken, not broken. Somewhere in my cellular being, an understanding that this body can be stolen, its rhythms cannot, its drums can be silenced, its message cannot, its ankle can be shackled, the memory of the dance cannot. Its voice can be muted, its cry cannot, the lash cannot disfigure the flesh, it cannot stop the healing, the noose can kill the breath, it cannot deter the spirit. Passed down from ancient bodies to ancestral bodies to this aging body, the knowing. Somewhere in my cellular being, I am whole. I am whole. My lineage invincible, invincible, invincible. Time brings me chapters of erased knowing. And if not here, then where would I be? Shifting across histories, I never heard the change rattle, never felt the lash, the thrashing ocean, sinking flesh torn from ancestral lands. My body never knew the name I was separated from. I search the faces coming toward me. On any street in these United States of ambiguity, half expecting to find a familiar stranger to claim me, rising from south, west, east, north. I am a living ghost, walking across paved over fields, hiding in plain sight, my anguish, terror, layered just below the surface of skin, a legacy, a legacy, a legacy, a legacy passed on unanswered. If not here, in the falsehood of America, then where, who would I be? Had there been no shifting across histories, my body never knew. My body never knew. My body never knew. And I define my clan, a griot, jelly, the jolly, storyteller, narrator, allegorist, biographer, call me poet. Spinner of yarns, descendant of women steeped in dream and spiritual blood, redefining their times within barriers. This is how we learn to make ankle rattles roll thunder. It's ragtime, and she said she would own land. Centuries-old law said she could not. This is how we learn to make ankles rush like river. It's swing time, and that daughter said she would preach the gospel, but millennia-old doctrine forbid women in the pulpit, and she preached from the congregation. Because this is how we learn to make ankle rattles a soft, soft murmur of prayer. It's bebop time, and she suffered the heartache of leaving her children unattended while she worked, of rationing food at the dinner table, of buying day-old everything to stretch a nickel, of pushing defiant teenage adults out into the world, of burying children she thought would bury her. And it's free jazz time. And she gave me a Bible, and she gave me a song, and she gave me a song to sing, and a command to hold on to faith's plow, because this is how we learn to make ankle rattles a balm for the weary. This is how we learn to make ankle rattles a balm. This is how we learn. 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 And a host of black poets strut into a Washington, D.C. black tie gala. They define what it means to be a diaspora. Because this is how we learn. Strutting, posing for selfies with other selfies, artistic photo bombing of the highest form, as the former U.S. poet laureates Trethewey, Smith, and Dove read, hush. Each metered and unmetered line shifts the seated diaspora. Lean forward. Lean back. Lean into every word. Murmur a collective Ashe. Amen. Ashe. Amen. Twist in your seat. And we are a twister rising. Rising to wring the mop dry of its skeletons. And the laureates read, hush. To the audience, hear the narratives rising. What is history unwritten? What is history discarded? Ascending from the burial ground. What is history? What is history? What is history? And where would I be? Where would I be? Where would I be had there been no shifting? Had there been no shift. Had there been no shifting across histories, my body never knew. Thank you. Okay, Robert, come on up here. Robert and I are going to do a little tag team. So he's going to do a poem, and then I'm going to do a poem in response to it. And I think Jay is switching to his sax, so.
Jay. All right, Jay. This is experimental now. Don't beat us up.
Story of my life, giant experiment.
Wade in the water, wade in the water, wade in the water. I'm gonna trouble the water. Wade
In the water,
wade
in the water, children.
wade in the water.
God's gonna trouble the water.
Wade, I wanna wade.
The water. God's gonna trouble the water.
Wade, hey, 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 hey. Wade in the water. Wade in the water. I'm gonna trouble. Maybe it was Basquiat that rode this train towards Burnside Avenue. Or it was a tribe of Latino and black boys with afros and cornrows. God's gonna trouble the water. Platinos and collards, t-shirts and backpacks on our way to the Bronx. Bound for Mount Eden, way out on the hill, and if anybody knows, surely I will. These gutted brownstones with toe tags and signs, blind spots and shoe shine. Basquiat, you still live here in Brooklyn.
Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. In the water. Wade in the water. Children, wade in the water. Oh, God's trouble the water. Somebody sang for me.
Yeah. Hey.
Somebody sang for me from behind her teeth, the sound of blood's rush. Called me from myself into myself. A body. An earth song of love and bitterness. Someone sang for me deep in Virginia pines. Wade in the water, wade. In the water, wade.
find more than himself on earth. His interpretation of Jesus with this exposure, it is like the project. It's milking the lottery in the school, the battery of the rules. It's all stopping, Chris. Putting our children in handcuffs. I'm beating you down to your hoodies. With the subway comes, the food changes from bodega to gourmet, from plot to platé, Basquiat. I'm on my way to a hijack.
Wade in the water, wade. Wade in the water, wade. In the water. Somebody sang for me, y'all. Deep in Virginia pines, a hem razored the sky vermilion.
Water.
Pushed the wind to shove me down a snake-filled road.
Water.
Fighting for my life, someone sang
Water.
for me. Pulled on my am and am not from origin's darkest beginnings. And melody flowed from me, planted itself in me. And I heard a soprano rustling leaves in my ear because God's gonna trouble the water away. Somebody sang for me. Rattled the question in my voice. Shook loose words from my hand. And I've always known someone sang for me. Always known someone sang for me. And the oath shivered agreement sacrificed their pope for me to write down all the songs somebody sang for me. And I will sing. I will sing. I will sing for her, the someone who sang for me. I will sing. I will sing for the someone coming after me. Wade in the water. No God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water. 'Cause God's gonna trouble the water.
Thank you.
Robert, you got another poem? Where you going? I'm going to change this up just a little. This piece that I have is called Bird Frying. And I want you to know something about this piece. I wrote this piece a long time ago. And there's a punchline at the end that I didn't even know I wrote. I just knew every time I read the poem, when I got to the last line, somebody would laugh, and I didn't know what they were laughing at. I think it took me about 2 years to when I read the line, I actually got it. So, you know. I melt grease in a skillet. Wait for the popping sound of hot. An invitation to a bird fry. I season the flour, pepper, a little garlic, and maybe too much salt. And I'm listening to Yardbird in my kitchen, playing an accurate rendition of why he skipped nights at Birds, coming from my radio. Salt peanuts for that monkey who knew his genius, battling against these sizzling thighs here in my kitchen. Yardbird, taking life to a grave extreme, but living long enough to tell somebody in a melody how day-old ginger ale tastes, flat, tell how every now and again a man needs to lay the pipes right in the hen house. Tell how the bird gonna be soggy if the grease don't pop.
It's hot. Last night Harlem called me, and it was all rhythm. It was Paris Blue of Nina and Langston Hughes walking up the block of 137th and Lenox. Last night near Jacob's restaurant, where I found some okra and tomato. Last night in Harlem, I found some fable and some folklore. I saw some James Brown. Last night, some Josephine and some Abby. Last night, St. Patrick's Day on the block. Last night, collard greens on buffet plates last night. Parties at Red Rooster, I need a cold fruit punch and those shiny, slimy avocados swimming in their own brine. It was the time to make a walk and hear all the jive talk. Last night, she called us out of our characters, and those who would listen to the callings of those who don't know how to suffer. The bricks are still cold, the tricks are still bold. Last night.
In my mind, I exist as I have always existed. A thin line navigating between plop and slap of raindrops. It's always raining somewhere, and I exist in hand clap and percussion. Witness the down, backbeat, just beat it. Rhythm of pot bottom, hollow tree, drum. I exist in car honk, exhaust fumes, rear view mirror, rear view mirror, rear view mirrors, rear view mirrors.
Last night, the bricks are still cold, the tricks are still bold. You better watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. This is still the poetic hood, and they like to play the fool, but it's rhythm that only comes here, and night is blue. Last night, that tree reminds me of a fresh melon, the sun, a honeydew. Last night, trying to peek through. I want to rise and trust the people. I want to allow me to speak. Last night, I'm still a soldier. I'm still a warrior. I'm still a griot. I'm still a toiler. I'm still coming out of the Harlem Renaissance. Last night.
I exist in the muffled sound of train car wheels, still rumbling from place to place like the tribes of Israel in Exodus. I exist in the crushed pulp of journal pages, in the ink that stains and sustains me. A ragged hemmed woman surviving in a crowd solitude. I exist as I have always existed. Last night.
Last night I saw the cardinal direction of points, and this is symmetry. This is polymony. It is the polity of the people before Congress. They accuse me of being a communist. I didn't go to Russia. I don't know Maxine Gorky. I never traveled the Purple Mountains like Langston last night. But I saw Mingus, I saw Thelonious, I saw Mingus, I saw Thelonious last night.
And I exist in a seed dropped in a mound of warm excrement, sprouting always, cleaning up after myself. When fear moves the body, I exist in street gutters. Leave no trace of having been there. I exist flowing off the curb in the ammonia-scented footprint on hard tile floors, in a handprint on painted, chalky, flaking walls, and in the piss-soaked corners of housing project elevators. I exist to escape into the pages of books. I exist, I exist, I exist, I exist, I exist.
Langston still exists in me. My father wanted me to go to Columbia University. My father wanted me to be an engineer. He wanted to hurt me last night. His fear that I could not live as a poet, especially as a black poet, but we must make our way for ourselves. We had to create a new nation. We are stations of the cross because we have an entire nation to speak for. Last night, I heard Sojourner Truth and I heard Harriet calling me to preach, to proselytize, to seek. I am a panhandler, a soapbox stand. Stop trying to demonize me. Last night, I
exist in wanting to exist. In placenta, in milk of all women, in babies wail and smile. I exist on the dance floor, a soul train line. I live in the grooves of 33s, 45s, and 78s. I exist in civil rights freedom songs, in the assassin's bullet, in the assassin's bullet, in the recoiling body, in the blood, in the bombed out church. I exist in saving and not saving the body. I exist in my past. I exist in cultural erasure, and it's a bitch to remember the fat back dripping kind of sloppy that tastes so damn good when organic is too expensive. And in my mind, I exist in the elevator music of tall buildings that fall when hit. I exist in 9/11 dust, in the twisted mentality of hatred raining upon me. I exist as I have always existed. And I am a thin line navigating the plop and slap of raindrops wherever I've lived and died, leaving pieces of me continually sprouting in shit because I exist. Last night.
I stand on the ledge of the head of Lorraine Hansberry, including the hostages with do-rags and baggy pants. I exist. The vanity. I exist. Because no one cared to ask, only the lack of information, therefore, I exist. A cold case erasing another one, another two. So I look into his eyes, Richard Wright, and say, I'm a black boy. I have the right to claim the land. Last night. Thank you.
Robert Gibbons. The J. Rodriguez Trio. And I hope you've enjoyed this afternoon of poetry. I know I have. I went to church, I went to the club, and everywhere else, okay? And we're going to have Jay take us out. All right. There you go.
Yeah, let's kick it.
Thank you.
J. Rodriguez Trio, everyone. The J. Rodriguez Trio. Yayoi Ikawa on piano and keyboard. Xavier Hill on drums. J. Rodriguez on sax and flute. We also want to thank our poet, Cheryl Boyce-Taylor. Robert Anthony Gibbons. Me, E.J. Antonio. And we also want to thank our sponsors, the Brooklyn Arts Council, the 440 Gallery, the Garner Glazier Foundation, the New York Department of Cultural Affairs, Poets and Writers, Park Slope Civic Council, the Phife Dawg Foundation, and the Soapbox Gallery, and you, our individual donors, and our audience for making this programming possible. Please mark your calendars. Save these dates. On May 21st on Zoom, we will have the poet and essayist and children's book author Tony Medina. On June 4th, we will be back here at the Soapbox Gallery with the wonderful and fantastic Mr. Craig Harris. On June 11th, we will have poetry by Randall Horton. And on July 9th, at the Brooklyn Conservatory of Music, we will have We Free Strings. And on October 1st, we are bringing back the Makanda Project to the All Saints Church here in Brooklyn. So please mark your calendars, watch for our emails, and we hope to see you next month on Zoom for Tony Medina.